The soldiers we saw back on the trail. Sounds like they're in trouble.
If Greyhawk's braves attack them, they'll not have much chance.
Let's go.
Redskin ambushers. Looks like we've got friends.
Ambushers like to give surprises, not receive them.
You scare them, Kimasabi, they'd disappear.
Can't see anyone, but whoever it is arrived just in time.
Let's get down to the soldiers. There's a few questions I want to ask them. Come on.
It's 2 men, Lieutenant. They're headed this way.
Good.
Say, one of them's masked. Must be a bandit.
Hold your fire, Murphy. I don't care whether he's a bandit or not. I still want to shake his hand. Howdy, mister. We owe you our lives. Those Indians really had us pinned.
You won't have any more trouble, Lieutenant. We just saw them right off. How's the wounded man?
Losing a lot of blood.
Me fix him. Bind leg tight above wound. Stop bleeding.
That Injun knows his business.
You'll have your man in traveling shape in no time at all. You were putting up a good fight against those Indians, Lieutenant.
A losing fight, you mean? I never thought Black Eagle's men would try to ambush an army patrol.
They were Black Eagle's men, but not anymore.
What do you mean?
They're renegades now. Broke away from the tribe a few months back. They're following a young chief who stole all of Black Eagle's gold. Calls himself Greyhawk.
You seem to know a lot about them.
I've made it my business to investigate.
I wish I had a full troop under my command. I'd investigate them right out of this territory.
You'd need a full troop, Lieutenant. But I admire your spirit. You see, Greyhawk's warriors are using the latest Army rifles.
Oh, I can't believe that.
Think back, Lieutenant. The band that just attacked you was halfway up that slope. Too far away to get you without the latest rifles. But they did get you. Rather, they got your man there.
Why, yes. Only the new rifles do have that range.
Surprise, isn't it, Haines?
Say, besides knowing about our rifles, you know my name, too. Who are you, anyway?
I'm no outlaw, as you probably think.
That's hard to believe, you wearing that mask and all.
Major Pollard, Pigface, I think you call him. He's a new commandant at Fort Maddox, isn't he?
Yes, and that's his, well, that's our nickname for him. You even know that.
I know a lot about Fort Maddox. You see, I'm trying to prevent a war between the Indians and the whites. Somehow I've got to find out how those Indians got the rifles.
The only place they could get them is at the fort. But we don't hand them out to the Indians.
I'm not so sure, Lieutenant.
What do you mean?
I think I can prove otherwise with your help.
Well, what do you want me to do?
Lieutenant, when you get back to the fort, spread the news around about the Indians having those new rifles. Study the reaction to this news and let me know what happens.
No harm in that, I guess. But where'll I find you again?
You know the cave west of the fort?
Yes.
Meet me there tomorrow morning at 9.
Sure thing.
You were detailed to find a supposedly hostile tribe of Indians, which was reported in this area, Lieutenant. Your failure to do so is one more indication of your unfitness for life on the frontier.
Private Johnson was wounded, Major, in an ambush set by the very Indians we were looking for. We had to return.
You should have gone ahead without him.
Sir, in my opinion, it's no use looking for those Indians unless we can send out troops in force.
Before I send out a large number of men, we must first find the Indians' camp.
When we do that, Major, we must be prepared to fight. Those Indians are equipped with the latest Army Springfields.
What gave you that preposterous idea?
The range of their arms, sir, when they fired at us.
Are you offering this remarkable flight of imagination as an excuse for your failure to find the Indians' camp?
No, sir.
Then you have no excuse.
Sir, I made my report. There are no excuses necessary.
I see. Sergeant, the lieutenant is under arrest. Take him to the guardhouse.
But Major, arrest, I don't understand.
Come, Lieutenant. Don't understand failure to carry out orders? Lock him up. I'll prefer charges later. He is to speak to no one.
Yes, sir.
Sir?
Get the storekeeper. I want to talk to him.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Lieutenant. The Major's a hard man to figure.
Yes, he certainly is. Oh, Sergeant, something I'd like you to do for me. A favor.
Lieutenant, I can't do anything for you. I shouldn't even have spoken.
But, Sergeant, this is...
Sorry, sir. I have to obey orders, too.
I understand.
Fools, savages. I told them not to use those guns in this area. But what gave Lieutenant Haynes the idea they were Army rifles?
Their range, Asa. Simple.
But he has no proof, though. He can't tie us in with them.
I know. But before he talks more about the rifles, I've got to get rid of him. Maybe the men on his patrol, too. Murphy and Johnson.
Murphy? Good. He's been a big bother lately.
In what way?
Well, he's been hanging around the storeroom a lot, sort of checking up. I surprised him in there yesterday.
Find any rifle shortages?
No, I got rid of him before he did. But he'll come back.
I never realized we had so many curious young soldiers here.
Well, there's a couple of other things going on I don't like, Pollard. I've got a feeling that I've been followed. The last 2 times I made trips out to Greyhawks.
Followed? Why didn't you say something before?
Well, I wasn't sure. But yesterday, on my way back, I saw a masked hombre turn off the trail up ahead of me, disappear in the brush. He was riding a big white horse.
A white horse? It couldn't be anyone from here. No white horses on the post.
I know, but I just didn't like him seeing me near Greyhawk's hangout.
I don't think we've got to worry about an outlaw on a white horse. But we do have the problem of Lieutenant Haynes and cohorts. And I've got an idea.
What's your plan?
You ride up to see Greyhawk now and tell him that I'm sending out a detail.
Tonto. There, on the trail from Fort Maddox.
And that storekeeper we see before.
I wonder if Lieutenant Haynes threw a scare into him. He's heading for Greyhawk's camp.
Me take shortcut there. Pretend to be lone Indian who want food. Find out what him do if him go there.
Good idea, Tonto. Greyhawk won't be suspicious of you. I'll give you something to trade for a meal in case he won't give you a handout.
Me try not to use it.
Good. Come back as soon as you can. I'll meet you at camp. Good luck.
Oh, open up your.
Me, Tonto, come from North Country. Not understand.
Speak white man language, then. What you want?
Me hungry, want food. Maybe sleep here tonight.
You pay with gun?
No. This buy plenty food. Silver.
Give him food. Take gun.
Howdy, Greyhawk.
Oh, why you come here?
I've got something for you.
Greyhawk not buy more rifles from Pollard. Him got all Greyhawk's gold now.
I'm not trying to sell you any rifles this time. I've got a gift instead from Pollard.
Gift.
The Major's sending some men into the hills tomorrow. A small band to look for your camp again.
Him promise not to do that. Him break promise once.
Well, he had to do that for show. But not this time. These soldiers are troublemakers at the fort. Now, he's going to send them through Pinyon Pass. They'll arrive about noon tomorrow. But he doesn't want them to find you. Understand?
If Greyhawk gets rid of soldiers, him keep horses and rifles.
That's the Major's gift.
That good. Greyhawk will fix ambush. No soldier leave pass alive.
Fine.
Eat.
Sure, thanks.
Me plenty full. Go now.
No spend night?
No.
Hey, Injun. You were speaking English. You a member of this tribe?
Him solitary hunter. Him buy food.
An Indian buy a meal? Well, I thought they could go out and hunt one up any time. Where'd you come from?
Up north. Me Potawatomi.
Him rich. Pay good. Silver.
A silver bullet. You don't see these very often. Where'd you get this?
Maybe me find it.
Maybe you did. And maybe you didn't. I've heard of a man who uses silver bullets like these. Rides a white horse. White horse. Hey, wait a minute. Your name's Tonto or something like that, isn't it?
Him Tonto.
Tonto, that's it. That hombre I saw riding a white horse. He's your pal, the Lone Ranger. Ever hear of him, Greyhawk?
Him dangerous man.
I'll say he is. Finding this Injun here is proof he's not far away. Where's your pal hanging out? No, you don't, Injun. You're staying right here. You know too much. Your pal is bound to come back looking for you. When he does, we'll grab him.
Him not walk in the trap. Him know about rifles. Maybe him bring soldiers here.
Nobody knows about those rifles, Redskin. And the only soldiers coming this way aren't going to arrive. Is that right, Chief? Better tie him up, post guard.
You pay?
Yes, I'll pay. 1 rifle for holding Tonto. 10 if you get his masked friend.
Larigny, Satmadan. Holly.
Sorry to get you up so early, Lieutenant. Here's an order from the Major.
Order?
I don't get it, Sergeant. First time jail for failure to perform my duty, then I'm ordered out again to look for renegades at Pinyon Pass. Another wild goose chase.
It's a strange world, sir. And orders seldom make sense.
Has Sergeant Murphy been informed? Says here he's to go with me.
He's ready now. He's waiting with 2 other men and horses. He has your sidearms.
Fine. Oh, Sergeant,
Sir?
when do you go off duty?
In about an hour.
I'd like you to do that favor I started to mention last night.
Sure, Lieutenant. I guess I can now.
I want you to deliver a message to a friend of mine.
All right. Where do I find him?
He'll be at that cave just west of the fort. Now, you tell him that I've been ordered out on,
Don't shoot, mister.
What are you hiding there for?
I was waiting. For you, I guess. Lieutenant Haynes told me a man with a mask and maybe an Indian.
Where is the lieutenant?
Well, he sent me to tell you that he couldn't meet you. Had to go on an early patrol.
Early patrol? Where?
Major Pollard sent him out looking for Indians again. Out in the Pinyon Pass area.
How many in the patrol?
4 altogether.
Only 4 and going to Pinyon Pass. That could be suicide.
Suicide? What do you mean?
If the Indian renegades in the back hills hear about that, there could be a massacre.
Massacre? Oh, now who'd spill that news to the Indians?
I'm not sure yet. By the way, did you see the storekeeper at the fort this morning?
Asa? He wasn't there. And I know because I was looking for him. The lieutenant wanted me to buy a present for that Indian friend of yours, Tonto, for patching up Johnson's leg.
So Jones didn't return. Speaking of Tonto, have you seen him this morning?
I saw no one till you came along. I've been waiting here some time. See you missing?
Yes, just like Jones. Tonto didn't return to our camp last night.
Say, you don't suppose them renegade redskins have got him, do you?
I don't know, Sergeant, but I'm going to find out.
You're not just going to ride out and ask them Indians, are you?
Yes, that's just what I'm going to do. Thanks for the lieutenant's message. Adios.
Feel like talking before I head back to the fort? Where's your pal's cab? Still won't open up, huh? You want your pal to walk right into a trap.
Him not get caught.
I sort of think he will. When he does, we're going to have a big party here. Greyhawk's going to see that you and your pal furnish special entertainment.
Tonto,
Kimasabe,
you all right?
me all right. You go quick. Then make trap for you.
I'll get you out first.
Hold up. Nava. Fine guns. You good catch. Very good catch. Sanko. we're going.
Was Jones here?
Him come. Instruct Greyhawk to ambush soldier patrol near Pinyon Pass. Him just now leave.
Have the Indians left for the ambush yet?
No, pass close by. Then not leave for hour, maybe. Me learn too, Pollard and Jones sell rifles to Greyhawk.
Just as I suspected. Now we've got to work fast.
Work fast. You walk in the trap.
Only because I wanted to, Tonto. Finding you was made too easy. I knew I'd be captured.
Well, how we escape, them take everything.
I've come prepared.
Take this.
Love plenty clever hiding place.
Hide the knife. God may own today.
When you?
Hooks up.
What you tell him?
I told him to bring back his chief.
What we do that?
We're going to surprise him. Hurry, Tonto. Tonto, bring over that hide.
What you do?
Cactus spines are sharp.
Me understand. Make surprise.
Yes, Tonto, a good surprise.
Them come.
Patsu! Patsu!
All right, Chief. Get him up. You two.
What do you do?
First, take off your moccasins. Now call to your braves. Tell them to go to Turnabout Canyon and wait for you there. Issei Sanoa Dosa. Remember, I understand your language.
Gamprati! Gamprati! Gaburi! Congo! Boru! Off!
Greyhawk. Over by that window. Turn around. We'll get their horses and tie them in the saddles. You take them to Pinyon Pass.
That easy job. May do.
When you get there, turn them over to Lieutenant Haynes. Tell them what's happened here and to head for the fort. I'm going there as soon as we get them tied.
Orderly, I thought I gave orders. I did not wish to be disturbed.
It's me, Major. Asa.
Oh. Where were you? I expected you last night.
Got delayed. I had to spend the night with the Indians. What's going on here?
Plenty. We got to get out of here fast. This letter just arrived. It must have been delayed in the mail. It says that a special Army inspection party is on its way to Fort Maddox, and for me to expect its arrival here on June 24th. That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Pollard. So what?
Those rifle shortages will never escape them.
Now, take it easy, Major. If the missing rifles are noted, pin the blame on Lieutenant Haynes, Sergeant Murphy, deceased, who sold them to Greyhawk before they were, unfortunately, scalped.
Oh, yes. Yes, I could do that. That's a good idea, Asa.
I've got another good one, too. I learned who that hombre on the white horse was. I baited a trap out of Greyhawk to catch him.
Who was he?
He's here now.
The masked man.
Put your hands high.
What do you want? How did you get in the fort?
With a pass, Major. Right now, I'm asking the questions.
It's you, Lieutenant Haynes' friend.
Guard, get that man out of here. He's under arrest.
Just a minute, Sergeant. There's going to be an arrest, but it isn't mine.
You heard me, guard. Arrest that man.
Hello, Major. Asa?
Haines, you here?
Another surprise, eh, Major?
I see Tonto found you all right.
He certainly did, mister. And we have Chief Greyhawk secured in the guardhouse.
Him confess everything on way over.
Guard, I demand that you obey my orders.
Major Pollard, for the time being, I'm giving the orders.
On whose authority?
War Department, Washington. This will explain, Lieutenant.
I'm sure it will, friend.
You'll find Greyhawk's renegades in Turnabout Canyon.
Tonto told me of that, too. Clever plan.
Sergeant Murphy rounding up troops now to get them.
Good. Just one more thing, Lieutenant. The Indians' gold which Pollard received for the rifles must be returned to Black Eagle's tribe.
We'll have his quarters searched immediately.
I already have. You'll find it in one of his footlockers.
Well, I'll see that it's returned. Well, I guess that ties up all the loose ends.
Skip, I'll leave everything in your hands. Come on, Tonto. Adios, gentlemen.
Hey, wait a minute!
They don't seem to be in any mind to wait, sir.
No, they sure don't.
Say, Lieutenant, what is that masked man's name? I've never seen the likes of him before.
Well, I just found out who he is, Sergeant. The Indian Tonto told me. He's the Lone Ranger.
Hail Silver! Away!
Lone Ranger.
Leander Knox. He seems to be running for re-election every time we pass this way.
Him must be plenty popular, or people not keep voting him back in office.
Never heard of this McQueen before. I like his looks, though.
Maybe that'll help you not to like him so much. I hope you got sense enough not to vote for him, mister.
Where'd you two come from?
The lion shack over there. This is part of Jeb Wesson's property. We work for him.
Jeb Wesson. He runs the bank in Waynesville, doesn't he?
That's right. You must be a pretty brave man. Travel around in broad daylight wearing that mask. I could have killed you with this knife.
Why didn't you?
Because around here, we're not interested in what a man wears on his face. All we care about is who he's voting for.
You got a vote?
I might have.
You ain't answered my question yet, mister. Are you voting for Jed Wesson's man? Or are you voting for this ornery upstart?
If Mayor Knox so good, why McQueen run on reform ticket?
Because he don't know any better, that's why, Indian. And if McQueen ain't careful, he'll find it ain't healthy to run against old man Leander.
You make this campaign sound very interesting. My friend and I certainly will want to help elect the right candidate.
Now you're talking sense.
Come on, Tonto.
We better get back to town ourselves.
What for?
What, you forgot? Weston wants us to go into town and take care of that newspaper man. Said he's getting out of line.
Oh, yeah. Scotty Dixon.
That's
That won't be hard.
Kimasabi, you mean what you say just now? We help elect right candidate?
Yes.
But we have business elsewhere.
We'll have to wait, Tonto. We're needed here more. The right to vote is one of our most precious privileges, and too often it's misused. Any election, even a small one like this, can be very important.
You think Mayor Knox dishonest?
I'm afraid so, Tonto. If those men are a sample of the type of men who campaign for him...
But this McQueen feller, maybe him dishonest too.
That's something we'll have to find out. Come on.
Hold it. All right, Bob, stay right where you are. I think your wife should be in one, too.
Sure. What's brains without beauty? Come on, honey.
Oh, I just feel silly.
Well, this town ought to be proud to have you for the mayor's wife.
Now, don't get ahead of yourself, Bob. You're not elected yet, you know.
But he will be, Scotty. I know he will.
All right, now, stay right where you are. We'll get a little flash powder in here. Be all ready. All right, hold it. Don't move. There we are. You can relax now. Before I put the paper to press, Bob, have you anything else to say?
Well, I reckon I said it all in my campaign, Scotty. I may not make the best mayor in the world, but I know I can be an honest one.
Well, that'll be a novelty after 3 terms of Knox.
Tell me, Scotty, what do you think my chances are of being elected?
How can you lose? All the people are for you.
Let Scotty answer, dear.
Well, like Kitty says, the people are for you, Bob, but sometimes that doesn't mean anything.
You figure Weston and Knox might be up to something dirty after all.
Well, you remember the last election. Hank Sanders looked like a cinch to win until he got involved in that scandal.
We don't have to worry about a scandal in this family. Won't you stay for lunch, Scotty?
No, thanks. I'm afraid I can't.
I'm worried about you, Scotty.
Why?
Well, now that you're coming out for me in your newspaper, Weston and Knox will be after you, too. That might mean danger.
I've been watching those grafters get away with murder too long. There comes a time when a man has to stand up against them no matter what the consequences. If you have the nerve to oppose them, I can't do any less than support you.
Thank you, Scotty. I appreciate your confidence in me.
Darling, ready for lunch?
Kitty,
Yes.
I've been thinking, if there's going to be trouble, I don't want you getting hurt. Maybe I ought to pull out while there's still time.
And let Scotty down and all the people that believe in you? No, darling, I'm not married to a quitter. I'll get it. A masked man and an Indian.
Stand back, Kitty.
Put away that gun, McQueen. We're not here to cause trouble.
That's not what that mask says. Take it off.
Sorry. I can't do that.
And I'll do it for you.
A man who use force instead of reason not make good mayor.
He's right, Bob. It isn't the mask that counts, it's what's under it. After all, Mayor Knox has been using a mask of respectability for years.
What do you want with us?
I'm interested in your campaign. You seem mighty anxious to be elected mayor.
I'm anxious in bringing good government to this town, that's all.
Mayor Knox say same thing.
Mayor Knox is a liar.
Supposing I could throw a few votes your way, would you be willing to make it worth my while?
So that's your game. Look, mister, if I'm elected mayor, it'll be by the people and not by a lot of grafting politicians. Now get out of here.
Thanks, Bob. That's just what I wanted to hear you say.
You loco, mister?
You see, I happen to believe in good government, too. But sometimes the only way to find out whether a candidate's honest is to give him a chance to be dishonest. Tonto and I would like to help you get elected.
Well, thanks. If you mean that, I wish you'd see Scotty Dixon down at his newspaper office. I'm afraid he's going to need your help a lot more than I do. He's planning an all-out expose against Jed Wesson and Mayor Knox.
An open warfare, eh? We'll get right over there. Bye, folks. Come on, Tonto.
Kitty, there's something about those two that makes me glad they're for me and not against me.
Well, Wesson doesn't waste any time, does he? Well, you can scare my helpers away, but you can't scare me.
Time for a clean sweep. Throw out the grafters. I wonder who he means, Pike.
I can't imagine.
I thought that you were smart, Dixon. Thought you had sense enough to pick the winning side.
That's just what I've done.
Well, a winner always gets a reward. Here's yours. A big reward. Let's go to work.
Trying to put the paper out of business, eh?
Yeah. What do you want?
The editor. Where is he?
He ain't feeling so well.
2 against 1. Brave, aren't you?
I've had enough.
Tell your boss, Mr. Weston, you can't silence the truth just by breaking up a newspaper office. Now get out.
Men not feel so brave now, running like scared rabbits.
I don't know who you two are, but I'm sure glad you came when you did.
Come on, Mr. Dixon. You have a paper to print.
Yes? It's the mayor, Mr. Weston. He wants to see you.
Let him come in.
Morning, Jez, my boy, morning.
Greetings, Your Honor. What's on Your Honor's mind?
Did you see what that no-account Scotty Dixon said about me in his paper this morning? Why, he called me a conniving old windbag.
That's nothing to what he called me.
Well, you gonna let him get away with it?
Don't worry, Your Honor. A couple of my boys are down in his office right now, taking care of him.
Good. But just the same, Jed, my boy, I'm worried.
I thought I told you let me do the worrying.
Yes, I know. But Bob McQueen's waging a mighty fine campaign, and all the people are for him.
Now, what's that matter? The people were all for Hank Sanders 4 years ago, and yet it was you they elected.
Yes, but that's because you got Hank involved in the last-minute scandal. If you got a plan to take care of Bob McQueen, you better use it fast.
Are you telling me how to run your campaign?
Why, of course not, Jed, my boy, of course not. But we just don't have much time.
Well, I'll make my own time, and I'm sick of having you waste it. Now, get out.
Just a minute, Mr. Weston's busy.
We gotta see him.
Come in, close that door. Well, I thought I told you two fellas to stay away from here.
This is important, boss. We gotta see you.
Why, did you bungle the newspaper job?
Well, we couldn't help it. Two guys we hadn't counted on, why, they barged in on us.
Oh, who were they?
A couple of strangers. We never saw them before. A masked man and an Indian.
A masked man and an Indian. Yeah, you're right, Your Honor. We haven't got much time. If strangers are horning in, we gotta act fast. We'll wash up Bob McQueen right now.
But how, Jed?
Very simply. With these.
Watch fob and a wedding ring.
Say, there's initials on it. R.McHugh. Say, ain't that Bob McQueen's?
That's right, Frank, my boy. He doesn't know it, but he lost it at the election rally last week.
What's this ring?
Well, that happens to be an exact duplicate of the wedding ring Kitty McQueen wears. 2 hearts on a band of gold.
But I don't understand, Jed. What are you going to do with them?
I'll tell you, Mayor. Every afternoon about 2 o'clock, Kitty McQueen goes out to do her marketing. This afternoon, when she's gone, Bob McQueen is going to hold up this bank.
Oh, you're crazy, boss. Bob McQueen would die before he turned bank robber.
Not the way I got it planned.
Oh, I thought you'd left already.
Not yet. Just checking up on what I needed. How's the speech coming?
Nearly done. This one's got to be a corker.
I'm sure it will be. I'll be back in an hour.
All right. My friends of Waynesville, for 3 terms now, you've submitted to the graft and corruption of Jed Weston's political machine. I, for one, will not submit any longer. The time has come when we must choose between courage and cowardice, between right and wrong.
Sounds real pretty, McQueen. Your gun won't do you no good.
What is this?
If I was you, McQueen, I'd do just as I was ordered. Now sit down and write what I tell you.
You work for Jed Weston, don't you? Well, I don't take orders from any crook stooge. Now get out of here. Now beat it.
Whatever you say, McQueen. Shall I take this with me?
Where did you get that ring?
Where do you think?
But it's Kitty's. See, she just left the house.
Yeah. Too bad she didn't get where she was going.
Where is she? What have you done with her?
Take it easy, McQueen. You won't find out that way. You got nothing to worry about. If you write what I tell you.
All right. What do you want me to write?
That's better. Go over to the desk. Put this down. Kitty, darling.
Kitty.
You heard me. Read it. Our plan has worked perfectly.
What plan?
Write it. I got away with more than we ever hoped for.
More of what?
Write it. I'm taking it out of town until the excitement blows over. I'll be back as soon as possible. Now sign it.
It's good. Real good.
Hey, wait a minute. This wedding band is brand new. There's not a scratch on it. It couldn't belong to my wife.
Couldn't it?
So that's it. Oh, you dirty rat. This letter was all just a trick.
Leave it there. Now get going.
Where are you taking me?
That's my business.
If Jed Weston thinks he can win an election this way, he's in for a big disappointment. My friends will look for me till they find me.
Yeah? Well, they can find you right this minute. Over at the bank. Come on.
I'll make a sound or I'll shoot. Hand me that gold. Come on. That's enough. Make one false move before I'm out of here and it'll be your last. Understand?
McHugh.
Mr. Weston! Mr. Weston!
Well, we have enough copies for just about everyone in town now.
The more the better, Scotty. It took courage to write this editorial. Now maybe it'll give courage to people who want to vote for Bob McQueen.
Give me Scotty.
What is it, Tonto?
Me just passed Jed Weston's bank. Plenty trouble there. Then say Bob McQueen hold it up.
Bob McQueen? You must be wrong. He wouldn't do such a thing.
Them loose watch fob involved. Initials on it.
Bob McQueen robbing a bank, it just doesn't make sense.
It makes too good sense, Scotty. Jed Weston couldn't have planned it any better.
Mayor and Weston on way to McQueen's house now with sheriff.
We better get there fast. Come on.
Mayor Knox, Mr. Weston, what are you doing here?
We came with the sheriff, ma'am. He's out rounding up a posse.
A posse? What for?
To look for your husband, Mrs. McQueen.
Bob, why, he was just here when I left.
I suppose you're going to tell us that you didn't know my bank was just robbed.
No, I didn't. Who did it?
Your husband, Mrs. McQueen.
My husband? Why, that's a lie.
No, no. He was careless enough to drop this watch fob. This is his, isn't it?
Yes, that's Bob's. But it's been missing for at least a week.
Then he couldn't have lost it today.
Who are these men, Dixon?
They're here to see that Mrs. McQueen gets justice.
I doubt she'll get very much justice from a masked man and an Indian.
More than she's gotten from you, Weston.
Scotty, they say that Bob held up the bank.
No, Mrs. McQueen, Bob himself says it. It's too bad you didn't get back a little sooner. Then you might have been able to destroy this letter here before the sheriff saw it.
Letter?
This doesn't make sense, Weston. Why should an honest young lawyer suddenly turn against the people who love him and become an outlaw?
Perhaps if Mrs. McQueen had taken us to her husband, he could answer that for us.
But I don't know where he is. And that knife, why, it isn't even Bob's. Someone else has been here.
And this letter. I suppose you're going to tell us that's not in your husband's handwriting. I've seen his signature too often, Mrs. McQueen.
Yes, it is Bob's handwriting. That's what I don't understand.
Well, I hardly think we need more proof than that. Your Honor, it's your duty to have this outlaw apprehended.
Just a minute. You're behind this, Weston. I don't know how you've done it, but you pulled the same trick at the last election.
Well, if you really believe that, mister, I suggest you persuade McQueen to come back and prove his innocence. That oughtn't to be hard. Meanwhile, you can't expect people to vote for a man who just robbed a bank and run away with their savings. Let's go, Mayor.
But I don't understand. That letter in Bob's handwriting.
He could have been forced to write it.
Forced?
A man like Weston have plenty ways to trick enemy.
But what can I do? Where is Bob?
It's possible that Weston's men are holding him prisoner until after the election.
Well, isn't there any way we can find him?
Tonto, haven't we seen this knife before?
Yes, Kimasabi. In tree by line shack.
Why, of course. One of Weston's men put it there. That line shack interests me. Come on.
Well, wait a minute. You're not going to leave me behind, are you?
Scotty, you have a newspaper to print. Have you forgotten?
Or anything you say, mister.
Don't worry, Mr. McQueen. Bob may still have a chance to win that election. You know what to to do now?
Me watch for Wesson's men.
When you hear trouble, come fast. Go ahead.
Boss. Everything go off all right?
Couldn't be better. Our magnificent windbag just can't lose.
Now look here, Jed. I don't like being called
Have any trouble with McQueen?
Trouble? Well, he was meek as a kitten. Frank's keeping an eye on him over at the shack.
Meek as a kitten, huh? And I think I'll just take a look at him now that he's not feeling so high and mighty.
Fine mare you'd make. Can't even sit in a chair.
Stop that. Now, just a minute, Redskin. We ain't got nothing against you.
Don't shoot me, Injun. I'm not to blame. It was Jed Wesson. He's behind everything.
Him tricked Bob McQueen to write false letter.
That's right. It was all his idea. I'll tell you everything.
That was a sweet fight, mister. The real fight's the one you're going to win, Bob. The election.
McQueen wins in landslide vote. Wesson and Knox indicted for fraud. You know, that's the sweetest headline I ever wrote. Well, Bob, you did it. Wesson and Knox are out for good.
Oh, Bob, I knew you could do it.
Yes, I'm quite a fellow. Got myself elected without a bit of help from anybody.
Don't worry. I'm not forgetting that he wouldn't be in office if it weren't for you two.
You don't owe us any thanks, Mrs. McQueen. But, Bob, you do owe the people good government.
And I aim to see that they get it.
Good. Well, our work's done here.
Wait. Aren't you even going to tell us who you are?
My name's not important. Come on, Tonto. Adios.
Who is he, and what's his business?
His business is justice. You see, he's the Lone Ranger.
I didn't find a thing, Tonto. Those outlaws seem to have disappeared into thin air. You find anything suspicious?
No, Kimasabi.
puzzles me how a group of outlaws can hold up a refinery, kill 2 guards, and ride off with 200 pounds of gold and not leave some kind of a trail.
There always some kind of trail. Always find if look in right place. Me find friend from tribe. While me wait for you, me see smoke talk from Fran.
What brings him to the mining country?
Him ride to me Tonto. Me go meet him. Bring him back here.
All right, Tonto, but do it fast. Those outlaws have a head start. Meanwhile, I'll try to pick up their trail.
I get all frazzled inside, ambling along like this, not knowing what's ahead or what's behind.
Why, Brother Flint, the railway station lies ahead.
We got company. Where? Up on a ridge. An Indian.
You reckon he's trailing us?
Bandits, maybe. Not us. I'm just a poor, lone preacher taking the body of his dear departed wife to the railroad.
Cut it. What about the engine?
Forget him.
I'd forget him about easy if he was dead.
Brother Beasley, you talk like a sinful man.
Can't it percolate through your skull that we don't care if we're spotted? That's the reason for this getup. What did you shoot him for?
Just making sure.
Why, you trigger-crazy galoot. If anybody saw that, we're as good as finished.
I ain't taking no chances. If he was trailing us, he's dead. If he wasn't trailing us, he's just unlucky.
Let's get moving, Rocky. I want to see that train.
What a knee.
Black hat.
Who do this? You see who do this?
Many bad men this country. We see white men kill other white men. Take gold. Why him shoot me? Me no have gold.
You see him steal gold? Same man who shoot you?
Black.
Why someone kill him? Him not have enemies. Him come from far away, and him have no gun, Kimasabi.
Whoever shot him never gave him a chance.
We find that man, Kimasabi. We look for him and we find him?
Yes, Tonto, we'll find him. I don't know how or where to begin looking. But I give you my word he won't get away.
Before him die, friend says something about Black Hat. What that mean, Kimasabi?
Black Hat? That doesn't help much. Lots of men in this territory wear black hats.
Ox wagon go by near where him die. Me saw tracks. 3-4 horsemen ride, go with wagon.
That's a little unusual. Horsemen traveling beside anything as slow as an ox wagon. Any other sign?
No, Kimasabi.
Which way'd they go?
Railroad.
Maybe the horsemen traveling beside the wagon saw something or heard the shots. We'll go after them, Tonto. At least it's a starting point.
And me get horses ready?
Yes.
Riding after us back here.
Hey, Rocky, one of them's wearing a mask. You don't suppose someone's going to try and pull a holdup on us?
That's just dandy. Dressed like this to fool a posse and makes us fair game for any road agents.
Keep the hardware out of sight. More than likely they're friends. If not, we're 4 against 2. Good morning, brethren.
Good morning.
Brothers, it's a sinful thing you're doing. Riding around the countryside, robbing innocent people.
That isn't my business at all.
A man who wears a mask is a man of evil. Brothers, forsake your sinful ways. Walk the path of honesty.
This mask is on the side of law and order.
Sure, just like us. But look, mister, this is a funeral. You're holding it back.
Deacon, Brothers, how can you intrude upon a man in his grief? The wife of my bosom lies in that coffin. My friends, the deacons of my church, are helping me bring her back east to her final resting place. Now, go. Leave us to our sorrow.
Why you not ask him about my friend? They may be here shot.
Tonto, that man's no preacher. He's a fake.
How you know that?
Because of the way he talks. Preachers don't talk like that. He only thinks they do.
Me not understand.
I'm beginning to understand several things. Tonto, what do the Indians sometimes call missionaries and preachers?
Black robes, sometimes black hat.
Wait, Tonto.
Him killed Tonto's friend.
We can't prove that. I may be wrong. I'm only guessing.
Him black hat.
Yes, maybe a real black hat. Maybe the whole thing is real. We can't try to force a confession out of them until we're sure they have something to confess.
But you not asked them anything.
When I realized they must be fakes, I also realized they probably had us covered.
What we do?
We'll cut around those hills and get to the railroad before them. A lot of hours before the train is due. A lot of things can happen before then. Let's go.
Here for bandits, Kimasabi?
No, Tonto. I have a plan which calls for a doctor. We'll hide our horses near here and go find one. Look, Tonto, that's the man.
Close the door. I don't like drafts. Wrong address, gentlemen. I ain't got no money. I only dream about it.
That doesn't always mean a holdup. I'd like you to cooperate on something.
Like, robbing the express office, maybe? Good. There's enough gold bullion ticketed there for the afternoon train to keep us in mansions for 90 years. Come on. Let's rob the express office, huh?
That's not the kind of cooperation I meant.
Oh? Injun? You keep your eyes off my scalp. You can't have it. Watch. Bet you never saw a scalp like this one before, did you? Portable, removable. There's everything but button on. Wait a minute. I'll show you something else. Just don't move, gentlemen. Don't even twitch a muscle. Now, what was it you wanted?
You don't need that, Doctor.
No? Tell me why. But without moving.
Sign says you're the county health officer.
Yep. New position. Just created. Also veterinarian, undertaker, MD, and dead shot with either hand. Which department would interest you, gentlemen?
Undertaker and county health officer.
Well, is the man dead, or is that just a plan?
It isn't a man, Doctor. It's a woman. I don't think she's dead, and I doubt whether she ever existed.
Well, that makes everything perfectly clear.
Doctor, have you heard about the killings at the gold refinery in Broken Bend?
Yep. Got away with 200 pounds of gold, didn't they? Or was it you?
I ask you to pay no attention to my mask. It doesn't hide an outlaw. But I think there is an outlaw hiding in the clothes of a parson.
Well, that's a new trick.
I'm guessing the men who killed the guards at the refinery are bringing the gold here to ship it out of the Southwest by train. I'd like you to use your official position to find out if my guess is right.
You mean they're bringing the gold here to the railway station?
Yes, in a coffin.
No.
In a coffin, Doctor. I'm more and more sure of it.
Sorry I wasn't the undertaker.
Being the county health officer gives you the right to inspect the coffin, doesn't it?
Does, if I make such a rule. And I make it here and now.
you, brethren. Thank you for your gentle care.
Parson, I'm Dr. Smithers. This is Sheriff Healy.
Pleased, brethren, pleased.
What's your name, Parson?
Parson Weatherby. This is Deacon Jones, Deacon Brown, Deacon Bailey.
They're nervous, Tonto. Get ready, they may draw.
Me not like that, Doctor.
Why do you say that?
Not know, only feel. Him laugh too much, but him laugh only with mouth.
That's exactly the way I feel about him. This whole thing will come to a head in the next half a minute when he tries to inspect the coffin. After that, he'll be out of the situation.
Sheriff, him good man.
Yes, but so worried about the gold in this safe, he hasn't time to think about the gold stolen from the refinery.
And no man pulls a nail out of that coffin and gets away with the whole scant.
Don't draw. Deacon. Gunplay?
Now, you men carry that box into the office and pry up the lid. The express agent has got a crowbar.
I'll take care of my department, Sheriff. Sheriff, this calls for a little more delicacy and tact. You're not riding at the head of a posse, running down a gang of desperados.
Well, what do you want to do?
Parson, would you mind coming into my office and talking the matter over there? I think that after a few minutes, we can settle the whole thing.
Doc, I don't understand you.
Oh, I don't mind that, Sheriff. Well, Parson, what about it?
You come with me.
Yeah. Hey, you bet I will.
Why?
Here comes the sheriff. What's happening?
That Doc, he always wants to do things his way.
Where'd they go?
To Doc's office to palaver some more. Say, are you sure those fellas are fakes? This is a ticklish business.
As counterfeit as a lead dollar. The office, eh? Tonto. He's gone.
Come in, gentlemen, come in and make yourselves at home. That's right. Pull up a chair and sit down. Yes, sit down and let's talk about a coffin load of gold.
My wife is in that coffin.
I am Parson. Drop it. You're right, chum. Let's talk and start talking fast. You haven't got much time.
None of us have very much time, gentlemen. The train is due here in just a few minutes.
How do you know what's in that box?
200 pounds of gold. 100 pounds for each man you killed at the refinery up there at Broken Bend.
Who else knows about that?
Enough people to make me feel reasonably secure. Now, gentlemen, you can't get that gold out of here unless I help you. And I'm perfectly willing to help you. I've been waiting for something like this to happen.
This fellow's no doctor. He's a crook.
Oh, no, not yet. But only for lack of opportunity, I assure you.
You haven't got one now.
Oh, yes, I have. I don't come empty-handed, gentlemen.
Neither do we, Doctor. Neither do we.
Oh, put that thing away, will you? I mean to contribute to our fortunes. 200 pounds of gold isn't going to fill a great big coffin, but the gold over there in the express office will do it very nicely.
We've got enough right now.
Oh, Deacon, there's never enough.
How do we get past the sheriff?
Oh, he trusts me. The hard one to beat will be that fellow with the black mask.
The black mask?
I told you I had a hunch about those critters. They were after us.
Yes. And I can figure it now that I think about that Indian. He's hooked up some way with the one you shot. They're after us for that killing.
Ah, you're crazy. There wasn't anybody for miles around.
That's right. He did say there was an Indian killed.
Yes, we spotted this redskin watching us from the top of a hill. I wanted to let him go, but Beasley here had to shoot him. For practice, I guess.
Now, what's the difference? He's only some dirty...
Oh, Tommy!
Give it here, let me finish him.
Wait a minute. What about the fellow in the mask? Let's keep the noble redskin alive until he can answer a few questions.
We'll finish him. An Indian won't talk.
It all depends upon the approach, my friend. I happen to have the surgeon's approach.
Reach.
All of you. Doctor?
This is a scalpel, my friend. Sharp as a razor and pointed as a needle. Now, if you were to shoot me through the head or the heart, causing instantaneous death, I would naturally fall forward, pressing the scalpel down. And you would lose a pal.
You're not bluffing.
Oh, no.
There's no need for you to die, Doctor. You haven't committed a hanging crime yet. It's these men I'm after.
But I don't want you to capture these men. We've become partners. But I will commit a hanging crime in just about 5 seconds unless you drop those guns.
Doc, you're all right.
Well?
No, Kemisabi. Them kill you, too.
You keep quiet. We'll do nothing of the kind.
All right, I'll have to take your word for it.
Now that we got him, what'll we do with him?
There's only one thing that'll satisfy me.
The train.
Blows its whistle as he passes Blazed Rock.
Let's get back to the station.
What about these hombres?
They're not very important. Let's lock them up. Come on. Get into this closet.
They'll get out. They'll come after us.
They won't get out of this closet. Not for a long time. We don't want any shooting. Nothing that'll cause alarm.
Wait. I know a way to get rid of them without making any noise.
Why don't you listen to the doc? What do we do now?
Well, first I'll have to get rid of that sheriff. Then make the station agent open up the safe. Load all that gold into the coffin and flag down the train. Come on.
It's no use, Tonto.
It's my fault, Kimasabi. Me make noise by accident.
That's all right, Tonto. Wait. The key. It's still there. Tonto, hand me that newspaper.
Wait a minute, my wig.
What about it?
You go on to the station. I'll catch up to you.
You can buy a million wigs what we've got.
I know, but I want this one now.
Come on.
Him not get out very soon.
What kept you? A little change in our plans.
Doc Smithers must have given him a clean bill of health. Anyway, he didn't come back.
The train will be along very soon.
I know. Come on, let's get this box in there.
Hey, they're bringing it in here.
It's a disgrace. A disgrace.
Doc Smithers is a mighty hard man to please. Says if he can't see the deceased, we don't go aboard the train.
Where is he?
Oh, coming along. Where's the crowbar? Frank, bring the crowbar.
This is an outrage.
I'm sorry about this, Parson. Yeah, sure, so am I. Here, finish opening this thing.
What are we doing this for? We got enough.
There'll be more for the rest of us if you don't shut up. Watch those doors.
Now you. Open that safe.
There's not much in it. That tin star wasn't guarding no empty safe. There's gold bullion in there.
Go on.
You're not a parson. The masked man was right.
Come on, get at it.
Reckon that's about the prettiest body in the whole wide West.
Folks coming to meet the train.
You get back outside and keep them out of here.
And what if they want to come in?
Then pull a gun, but not before.
Get him high, gents. Drop your gun and put your hands behind your head.
It's a smart idea, holding my partner for a shield.
Drop yours to the floor, mister.
Sure.
fight.
The next coffin bandits use be their own.
Yes, Tonto. I'll see to that.
Flint is dead, and your pal Beasley's going next. He's having a bad time of it.
It's a fine time for the town's only undertaker to be locked up. Let me out, will you, Sheriff? I'll split my fee with you.
You're not going to split anything but rocks for a long time to come, Doc. And you fellas are going to split the air, hanging from the end of a rope.
No, because Beasley had to shoot an Indian and get us snarled up with a man in a mask.
That Beasley. We had us a good plan.
Hey, Sheriff, who is that masked man? I'd like to see him when I get out of here and settle a score.
You aim to tangle with him again?
Yep.
Better not. He's the Lone Ranger.
Hail Silver!